The Remington Arms Model 870 shotgun is the department-authorized shotgun provided for use by police officers working in the field. The Model 870 is a 12-gauge, pump-action shotgun with a 3-inch chamber and a 4-round tubular magazine. It has an 18-inch barrel equipped with Remington factory rifle sights and a fixed choke in either modified or improved cylinder. It is capable of firing various types of shotgun ammunition because of its manual pump action. It can fire slugs, double-aught buck, or less lethal ammunition without any adjustments or modifications to the gun. This makes the Remington Model 870 shotgun very versatile and ideally suited for use in law enforcement. Verifying the condition. When handling a shotgun, an officer should always know the condition of the shotgun so that it can be handled safely and appropriately. The first thing an officer should do when picking up or receiving a shotgun is to verify the condition of that shotgun. An officer should utilize the following 4 steps when verifying the condition of a shotgun. 1. Verify that the action is open. The action is considered open when the slide handle is pulled completely to the rear of the shotgun and against the receiver. 2. Ensure that the safety is on. The safety is engaged when it is protruding to the right. An officer should press the safety from the left side to the right to ensure that the safety is on. 3. Visually and physically check the loading area and magazine tube. An officer should look through the ejection port into the magazine tube to verify that it is empty. Then, insert the support hand thumb into the magazine tube and push against the follower to double check that it is empty. 4. Visually and physically check the chamber. An officer should then look through the ejection port and up into the chamber to verify that it is empty. Then, insert a support hand finger into the chamber to double check that it is empty. Beefs. Once the officer has verified the condition of the shotgun, he or she must conduct a 6-point safety check utilizing the acronym BEEFS. The 6-point safety check is a specific process by which the officer checks the proper working condition of the entire weapon in order to be certain that the weapon is fully functional for field use. Barrel. The officer should begin with the shotgun in the port arms position and then lower the barrel slightly below eye level so that the muzzle can be visually and physically inspected for cracks or dents. Continue moving the fingers down the barrel to the front sight. Visually check the front sight to make sure that it is not bent or broken. Then, push on each side of the front sight to make sure it does not move left or right. Continue moving the support hand fingers down the barrel while keeping them in contact with the barrel at all times, in order to feel and detect any cracks, dents, or bulges. Stop at the barrel lug. Visually inspect the solder joint where the barrel lug is attached to the barrel for any cracks. Then verify that the barrel locking nut is on tight by attempting to unscrew it in the counterclockwise direction with the support hand. Next, continue moving the support hand fingers down the barrel to the rear sight. Visually verify that there are 2 screws on the rear sight, one being located at the top and the other on the right side of the sight. Using the support hand fingers, push on the rear sight blade in all 4 directions to ensure that it is on tight and that it does not move. Continue to visually and physically check the remainder of the barrel all the way down to the receiver. Look through the ejection port and identify the ejector. It is located on the left side of the receiver. The ejector is a long and narrow piece of metal located between two rails and is attached to the receiver with a rivet. The proper shape of the ejector includes two bumps, one being larger than the other. If you push on the ejector, there should be spring tension. The bottom end of the ejector should extend behind the bolt. Extractor. Close the action halfway by moving the slide handle upward in order to expose the extractor, which is located on the right side of the bolt. Visually inspect the extractor to verify that it is free of debris. Then, use the support hand index finger to pull on the extractor. This is to ensure that the inside hook of the extractor is sharp and that there is proper spring tension. Once the extractor has been inspected, open the action. Firing pin. Open the action completely by pulling down on the slide handle and look through the ejection port down onto the bolt. Ensure that there is some light shining into the ejection port onto the bolt face. There should not be anything protruding out of the firing pin hole. Now look down into the firing pin hole and verify that the firing pin is recessed. The nose of the firing pin should appear round and not jagged. Safety. Next, elevate the shotgun and look into the chamber through the ejection port while closing the action. Then perform a chamber check and verify that the chamber is empty. Ensure that the safety is engaged and press the trigger. The trigger should not move and the hammer should not fall. Perform another chamber check to again verify that the chamber is empty. Now, disengage the safety and press the trigger. The hammer should fall, creating a crisp metallic ping. This metallic ping sound is caused by a properly functioning hammer being released by the trigger and striking the back of the bolt. Immediately re-engage the safety and then open the action by pulling down on the slide handle. Shell carrier. With the action open and while looking into the ejection port, use the support hand to push the shell carrier into the receiver through the loading port. Verify that the shell carrier locks in the up position. Then push the shell carrier down through the ejection port and verify that it locks in the down position. Now close the action completely. Use the support hand index finger and press the shell carrier to ensure that it has spring tension and returns to the down position after being pushed. Next, slide the support hand index finger down the shell carrier and verify that the U-shaped notch in the shell carrier, known as the flex tab, is recessed. Then, verify that it is not damaged. With the action still closed, use the support hand thumb and index finger to pinch the action bars inward just below the slide handle. There should be no movement in either action bar. Chamber check. A chamber check should be performed when an officer needs to verify the condition of the chamber. It is an administrative function and is usually performed in an elevated port arms position. When performing a chamber check where there is sufficient light to see into the chamber, an officer rotates the shotgun so that the ejection port is facing the officer. The officer elevates the shotgun to a point where the chamber is above eye level. The officer presses the action release lever with the primary hand trigger finger and opens the action approximately 1 inch. The officer looks up and into the chamber and verifies its condition. After verifying the condition of the chamber, the officer immediately closes the action and then returns to a port arms position. Low light chamber check. If it is too dark to see into the chamber, or, for tactical reasons, the officer doesn't want to look at the shotgun, an officer can perform a low light chamber check in order to verify the condition of the chamber. A low light chamber check is performed at the port arms position. The support hand is positioned down onto the bottom part of the slide handle. The officer then presses the action release lever and opens the action approximately 1 inch. The support hand little finger then reaches through the ejection port and into the chamber to verify its condition. Once the condition of the chamber has been verified, the support hand returns to the slide handle and closes the action. For left-hand officers, the support hand thumb should be used to insert into the ejection port to verify the condition of the chamber. Load the patrol ready. When a shotgun is loaded to patrol ready, the magazine tube is loaded to capacity and the chamber is empty. The shotgun is always carried in the shotgun rack of the police vehicle in the patrol ready condition. The trigger finger should remain on the action release lever during the complete loading process. Assume the elevated port arms position with the shotgun and perform a chamber check. The chamber should be empty. Assume the administrative loading and unloading position where the stock is pinched under the primary side armpit and the muzzle of the shotgun is pointed upward. With the support hand, utilize a 4-finger grip on the round to load it into the magazine tube. The shell is pinched between the index and middle fingers. Insert the round into the loading port and push the round forward into the magazine tube using the support thumb. Continue loading each round in this manner until the magazine tube is loaded to capacity. Assume the elevated port arms position and perform a chamber check. The chamber should still be empty. Return to a port arms position with the trigger finger still positioned on the action release lever. Chamber. When deploying the shotgun from the rack in the police vehicle, an officer must chamber around in order for the shotgun to be ready to fire in a deadly force situation. Chambering around will move around from the magazine tube into the chamber. Assume the elevated port arms position with the shotgun and perform a chamber check. The chamber should be empty. Remain in the elevated port arms position and press the action release lever. Briskly cycle the action and chamber around. The officer should see the round feed into the chamber as the action is being closed. While maintaining the elevated port arms position and still looking at the ejection port, perform a chamber check to verify that there is a round in the chamber. Return to a port arms position and, for right-handed officers, place the trigger finger on the safety button. For left-hand officers, place the primary hand middle finger under the trigger guard and on the right side of the safety button. High ready position. The high ready position is an effective searching position that is generally used for outdoors or for searching elevated locations. When an officer utilizes the high ready position, there is a round in the chamber and therefore the trigger finger is on the safety button. The officer's primary hand grasps the pistol grip of the stock. The primary arm elbow is hanging downward and slightly forward in order to position the stock of the shotgun parallel to and touching the forearm. The recoil pad of the shotgun should be positioned slightly forward of the shoulder. The support hand holds the slide handle and points the barrel of the shotgun in an upward direction that would place the muzzle of the shotgun directly in line with the officer's view of the elevated area to be searched. If the officer makes the decision to shoot, the stock of the shotgun is moved upward in a straight line from the forearm to the shoulder and the sights are aligned on the target. The safety is disengaged and the trigger finger is placed on the trigger. Low ready position. The low ready position is the most common searching position. When an officer utilizes the low ready position, there is a round in the chamber, and therefore the trigger finger is on the safety button. The primary hand grasps the pistol grip of the stock. Since there is a round in the chamber, the safety is on and the trigger finger rests on the safety button. The primary hand pulls the stock into the shoulder. The recoil pad is placed in a position against the body that is inside of the shoulder joint, known as the pocket. The primary side elbow may be raised slightly in order to maintain the rearward pressure and position of the stock into the officer's shoulder. The support hand holds the slide handle, and the support elbow is bent and pointed downward. The head should be positioned with a slightly forward cant. Both eyes are open and looking downrange. The muzzle is lowered slightly in order to allow the officer to view the suspect's hands or the location being searched. In order to perform a chamber check at the low ready position, the trigger finger moves to the action release lever while the support hand simultaneously rotates the shotgun counterclockwise. This enables the officer to see the ejection port. The officer then presses the action release lever. As the support hand pulls back on the slide handle and opens the action, the officer looks through the ejection port and into the chamber. Once the condition of the chamber has been verified, the action is closed. The trigger finger returns to the safety since there is a round in the chamber. Close contact position. The close contact position is a firing position used in extremely close range engagements. It is designed to be used in situations where the suspect is too close to fully shoulder the shotgun and fire, as this may allow the suspect to grab the shotgun and cause a weapon retention problem. When the decision to fire from the close contact position has been made, several things must happen simultaneously. The recoil pad of the shotgun should move from the pocket and into the armpit. The upper arm should clamp down on the stock to control the recoil when firing from this position. The trigger finger disengages the safety and moves to the trigger. The officer's knees are bent to provide balance and stability during the engagement. The support hand holds the slide handle very firmly with slight forward pressure to help counteract the effects of the recoil when firing. The position of the support hand grip on the slide handle must allow the officer the ability to quickly cycle the action in the event that a follow-up shot is necessary. If the threat is no longer imminent, the officer creates distance from the suspect while recovering to a low-ready position with the trigger finger alongside the receiver. The officer should then assess by scanning to the left and right with the shotgun. If there are no more imminent threats, the officer will re-engage the safety and then place the trigger finger back on the safety. Double kneeling position.
Good. Drop the gun!
Firing from a double kneeling position provides an officer with better stability and a wider range of motion when the tactical situation dictates that the officer shoot from a lower position. The choice to use this position will likely depend on the type and height of cover the officer is able to utilize. The officer starts in the standing, low-ready position. To move into the double kneeling position, the officer rolls forward on the balls of his feet and carefully places both knees on the ground. As the officer kneels, the safety is disengaged and the trigger finger moves to the trigger. The knees and upper body remain bladed to the target. The upper body leans slightly forward to assist in controlling the recoil. After firing from the double kneeling position, the officer places the trigger finger alongside the receiver returns to the low ready position, and assesses the tactical situation. He then engages the safety and places the trigger finger back on the safety. The officer stands, using his support foot to facilitate moving to the standing position. Once standing, the officer assesses the tactical situation with the trigger finger on the safety. Tactical reload. The tactical reload is used after rounds have been fired and there is no longer an imminent threat present. The main purpose of the tactical reload is to reload the shotgun back to full capacity. Officers are reminded to always try to use cover when performing reloads. After firing one or more rounds, the officer places the trigger finger alongside the receiver, assumes a low ready position, and assesses the tactical situation. The officer re-engages the safety using the trigger finger and immediately places the trigger finger back on the safety button. The officer remains focused downrange and the trigger finger remains on the safety during the remainder of the tactical reload. The support hand retrieves a round from the butt cuff or side saddle. With the four-finger grip, the officer loads the round into the magazine tube. Continue loading rounds into the magazine tube until it is full. An officer may choose to keep the shotgun in the shoulder or tucked under the primary armpit during the reload. Once the tactical reload has been completed, the officer then reassesses the tactical situation. Speed reload. The speed reload is used after rounds have been fired and a possible threat still exists, but the shooting has momentarily stopped. The officer now has time to reload the shotgun. The main goal for officers choosing to perform a speed reload is to reload as quickly as possible the number of rounds that were fired. After firing one or more rounds and the decision to perform a speed reload has been made, the officer places the trigger finger alongside the receiver. The officer lowers the muzzle and focuses downrange to maintain situational awareness. The support hand retrieves a round from the butt cuff or side saddle. With a four-finger grip, the officer loads the round into the magazine tube. Continue loading rounds into the magazine tube until the threat presents itself or the number of rounds that were fired have been reloaded. An officer may choose to keep the shotgun in the shoulder or tucked under the armpit during the reload. Once the speed reload is complete, return on target with the trigger finger on the trigger. Downloading. Downloading the shotgun is an essential skill to maintain since it must be performed anytime there is a round in the chamber, and it becomes necessary to return the shotgun to the patrol-ready condition. As a reminder to officers, the shotgun should always be in the patrol-ready condition when it is placed into the rack of the police vehicle. Assume the elevated port arms position with the shotgun and perform a chamber check. The chamber should be loaded. Keep the trigger finger on the action release lever after closing the action. Assume the administrative loading and unloading position where the stock is pinched under the primary side armpit and the muzzle of the shotgun is pointed up. Using the trigger finger, press the action release lever and open the action approximately 1 inch. Right-hand officers move the primary hand up to the receiver and cup the ejection port. Look into the ejection port and slowly open the action by pulling down on the slide handle. When the chambered round begins to eject, stop moving the slide handle. Remove the round from the ejection port with the primary hand and place the round between the ring and little fingers of the support hand. The primary hand then returns to the pistol grip with the trigger finger positioned on the action release lever. With the round still located between the ring and little fingers, close the action. Then, reposition the round into a proper 4-finger grip in the support hand and load it into the magazine tube. Assume the elevated port arms position and perform a chamber check. The chamber should now be empty. Return to the port arms position. For left-hand shooters, assume the elevated port arms position and perform a chamber check. The chamber should be loaded. Keep the trigger finger on the action release lever after closing the action. Assume the administrative loading and unloading position where the stock is pinched under the primary side armpit and the muzzle of the shotgun is pointed up. Move the support hand down to a lower position on the slide handle in order to better position the hand to remove the round from the ejection port. Using the trigger finger, press the action release lever and open the action approximately 1 inch. Look into the ejection port and slowly open the action by pulling down on the slide handle. When the chambered round begins to eject, stop moving the slide handle. Remove the round from the ejection port with the support hand and close the action. Reposition the round into a proper 4-finger grip in the support hand and load it into the magazine tube. Assume the elevated port arms position and perform a chamber check. The chamber should now be empty. Unloading involves the process of removing all of the ammunition from the shotgun and verifying its unloaded condition. The officer shall unload the shotgun and verify its unloaded condition before returning it to the kit room. Assume the elevated port arms position and perform a chamber check. The chamber should be empty. Keep the trigger finger on the action release lever after closing the action. Assume the administrative loading and unloading position where the stock is pinched under the primary side armpit and the muzzle of the shotgun is pointed up. Press the action release lever and open the action approximately 1 inch. Move the primary hand up to the loading port and push the shell carrier up and into the receiver with the primary hand thumb. Open the action briskly by pulling down on the slide handle with the support hand. As the action is opened, the round in the magazine tube will be released. Remove the round through the loading port and place the round between the ring and little fingers of the support hand. The primary hand then returns to the pistol grip with the trigger finger positioned on the action release lever. The support hand secures the round in a pocket. The support hand then moves to the loading port and removes the remainder of the rounds in the magazine tube by pressing the shell stop on the inner right side of the receiver. Right-hand officers will use the support hand thumb to press the shell stop, while left-hand officers will use the support hand index finger to press the shell stop. 1 round will be released from the magazine tube each time the shell stop is pressed. Secure each round in a pocket after it has been removed from the magazine tube. When all of the rounds have been removed from the magazine tube, the officer will verify the condition of the shotgun. Chamber load. The chamber load is a reload performed when an officer has fired all of the ammunition in the shotgun. The officer can quickly load 1 round directly into the chamber and continue to engage the threat. After knowingly firing the last round or experiencing a malfunction due to an empty shotgun, open the action and place the trigger finger alongside the receiver. Slightly roll the shotgun to the left and look into the ejection port to verify that the shotgun is out of ammunition. Retrieve a round from the butt cuff or side saddle with the support hand. Utilizing a 4-finger grip, align the round with the ejection port by placing the index finger of the support hand against the rear part of the slide handle. Push the shell into the ejection port and close the action. Finish on target with the trigger finger on the trigger. Left-hand officers should retrieve a round from the butt cuff with the support hand and position the round so that it is laying on top of the middle finger and supported on the sides by the ring and index fingers. The crimped end of the round is pointing toward the tip of the middle finger. Move the support hand to the right side of the receiver and cup the hand around the ejection port. Push the round into the ejection port and close the action. Finish on target with the trigger finger on the trigger. Standing transition. The standing transition technique enables an officer to transition from the shotgun to the officer's pistol while still maintaining control of the shotgun. In this case, the standing transition technique will be used to transition from the shotgun to the officer's pistol due to the shotgun running out of ammunition. After knowingly firing the last round or unexpectedly experiencing a failure to fire due to an empty shotgun, open the action and place the trigger finger alongside the receiver. Slightly roll the shotgun to the left and look into the ejection port to verify that the shotgun is out of ammunition. Remove the support hand from the slide handle and grasp the receiver. Push the shotgun slightly forward and away from the shoulder while moving the primary hand to the holstered pistol. Lower the muzzle of the shotgun and move the shotgun downward toward the outside of the support side leg. Trap the stock between the support arm and the body. Ensure that the muzzle does not cover the support foot. Step forward with the primary foot into a one-hand shooting stance while drawing the pistol with the primary hand. Finish on target with the trigger finger on the trigger. When the threat is no longer present, lower the pistol to the low ready position, assess the tactical situation, and holster the pistol. The purpose of this video is to provide a tool for officers to review the manipulation skill set for operating a Remington Model 870 shotgun. This video is designed to follow the format of the department's shotgun manipulation test, thereby allowing it to be used for review by recruits in the academy as well as in-service personnel. It can also be used at any time to review the safe and proper manipulations of the Remington Model 870 shotgun.